Hi everyone. Okay, we are back in the studio. Today we're going to make a picture made up out of Zentangle pattern. Now, my husband thinks that I've made that word up, but Zentangle is actually a thing. It's something that was developed by two people in America a while ago. And it's basically pattern that just repeats itself in a mindful way. So instead of just scratching around and just doing it, so you're actually thinking about what you're putting together and making a pattern. And then what I thought would be exciting is if we took our Zentangle patterns that we're making and we make a picture out of them. So first step is that I learn how to share my screen again, because I'm so not technical, and this is just, there we go. Okay, so now we should be sharing. Yes, there we go. Okay, so Zentangle picture. This is just a little close-up of one that I started doodling with. And to do the Zentangles, you don't need a lot at all. Any kind of paper. I chose brown paper just because I happened to spot some on my shelf of crafting materials behind me. You can use white paper, colored paper if you want. Whatever you want, it doesn't matter. I found it quite effective to use two different pens, because then you get thick lines and you get thin lines. It gives a nice effect. So I just started, you can see here how I just started in the corner. Let me move my mouse. You can see I started here just doodling with spirals, and then I started joining the spirals, and then you just carry on. But as you do it, you're doing it thinking about what you're doing with your pattern. And before I knew it, I'd started and I'd done a whole lot more over here. Lost my mouse again. Actually lost that screen. There was another pattern back there. Let me see if I can go back. Yes, I can. This one here was me then, just something else came in my head, and I thought, oh, I'll go and I'll just start drawing waves with the dots. Now, if you notice with the dots, I've put them closer together in some places. So you can see that it makes a light area and a dark area inside that sort of wave shape. So when you're putting your marks down, think of how you're putting them down. Leave spaces and then make them close together, your marks or your lines, to make the darker areas. And then you'll see your picture will start to have some interest, and it won't just be a flat picture of pattern. Pattern, for those who don't know, is a regular arrangement of lines, shapes, or colors. Here we're just not using different colors, but you can if you want to use different colors. This is entirely your creation. You can do it however you want. There's no right or wrong. It's not like maths. Maths is 2 + 2 has to equal 4. There's just nothing, you can't change that. When you're making your Zentangle patterns, if you think, oh, that line's gone in the wrong place, it really doesn't matter. Just keep on going. And as you can see by my example here on this page, I actually did come across some areas where I thought, oh, not too sure about that. But then you just carry on going. And in the end, the effects is really awesome. You can see here on the left-hand side, once I started to get going, I drew a box shape. It doesn't have to be exactly 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters, whatever. Just draw a shape, a box, rectangle, square, because then at the end, you'll end up with lots of what they call tiles, and they are your pattern sheets, which you can keep and just keep them as they are. Or, as I mentioned earlier, I've decided to make a picture, a collage picture out of my Zentangles, which will reach shortly. So that's just how that pattern developed. And then this one here, I started on the left, just drew some straight lines, and then joined up some wavy lines, and then just started doing some close together lines, all in my thick pen. I didn't actually add a thin pen into this one, but that was actually one of the patterns that was a favorite in my house. There's another one here as an example. So this one, I've actually started, I drew my square in pencil and then added some more lines And then I smoothed in my corners. So to explain that, I've done a close-up. In the bottom right, you can see where you have two lines crossing over each other, you sort of round them off with your pen. Let me move my mouse over here. Rounded up the corners with a pen and then colored them in. And you end up having this really cool, almost a spider webby effect. Very effective, very simple to do, and gets a really nice look. So that was that pattern. And that's what it looked like when I finished. In this one, I got my fine pen and filled in random shapes with little straight lines. So that there you've got a light, you've got a medium, and you've got a dark, just getting that interest. You can carry on going even longer if you want. I could have decided to make some of them, cross-hatch them and made more interest, but it just depends what you want to do. It's completely your own thing. That is the one that I showed originally. I filled in every alternate wave with solid color just to give that effect. So very bold, and then with a wavy line that looks like it's going in and out almost. So that was the 4 different tiles that I ended up drawing. Then you can keep them like that. And you can carry on going. Gosh, you can go on forever. I decided those 4, I was happy with those. I had a nice different textures in all 4 of them. Then what I did was got my materials together to make a collage picture. So what you're going to need is you're going to need your tiles of Zentangle pattern that you've made, however you've decided to do them, on whatever paper and whatever color with whatever pens. You've got all your tiles. You need to have a piece of paper or card that you can then stick onto. So that's my white card in the back there that you can see. It's just a plain piece of white A4. Then you're going to have some kind of glue and a pair of scissors. Also, what I love doing, and my doodlers from when the club sessions happened, they know that I like to tear the paper, because then instead of getting a nice clean line that you have with scissors, you get a nice rough edge, and that contrasts really nicely the dark and the light, the rough and the smooth. So there I decided to make 2 trees. Tore up all my shapes and then just arranged them, played with them and arranged them on some card, and then decided actually I'm going to try and make these 2 trees. So you can see I've also used some plain paper there as well in the trunks of the trees there. So that is just a collage picture completely made up of Zentangle pattern paper with some little hills at the bottom. I came back to it a bit later and I thought, oh, I don't know, I want to add some more things. So I did some more doodling, and this was actually my final piece. I've taken my fine pen and I've just drawn in a few little wavy lines and some little flowers. And I actually cut up one of the Zentangle tiles. There was quite a large, big swirl. That's the part that I thought, oh, I've made a mistake there. But then I ended up using it and I've made it into a sun at the top of the page here. So that ended up being my final picture, final collage Zentangle picture. So stop sharing my screen. There we go. Hello again. I actually didn't end up using this tile. I don't know if anybody spotted that. There's one whole tile there that's not used. For some reason, I didn't pick it up to make my picture. There's also little bits left over from the other ones, a couple of sheets. So I've got more now, and I can go back at some other point and make up some other pictures or use them for something else entirely different. But that's my copy, my A4 picture. And I hope that this has inspired you to go off and make some Zentangles, do some doodling mindfully, do some drawing, and then maybe you can go on and make a picture. You don't have to do that part. It's just an idea that came into my head. So that is a Zentangle picture for this Doodle It video, and I hope that you all have fun and take care. Okay, bye.